Few teams have had entire eras dedicated to their reign of dominance, and when their reign ends, it's usually at the hands of a close rival. However, the current regime has now been threatened by a surprise contender that hails from Finland. Ence, a true underdog, has triumphed at the recently concluded Blast Pro Series Madrid as they dethroned Astralis 2-0 in the grand finals.
Point for Ence, 12 seconds to collect the bomb. We've got Alexi B by oil, and that's it.
What's more is that one of these two victories came on Astralis' most dominant map, Nuke. To top it all off, this defeat comes at a time when the dominant Danes were on the cusp of setting a new world record. This incident will certainly send ripples across the CSGO community and will go down as an important moment in CSGO history. But is it really enough to spell the end of the Astralis era? Before we go any further, please consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon, else you will be cursed with teammates that flash you in the next 5 games. Astralis have recently suffered losses to Liquid and MIBR, both of these at Blast events. This, coupled with their loss in Madrid, has given new life to the meme that is Blastralis. To fully understand and appreciate the gravity of the situation, let's go back in time a little. The first few years after CSGO's release in 2012 witnessed ninjas in pajamas quickly establishing themselves as the leading team. They held the #1 spot for a little over a year with a record of 87 consecutive maps won on LAN. Their record on Nuke alone was 32 wins in a row. Their success was largely attributed to them being the fastest team to adapt to the new game post the CS 1.6 era. As time passed, other teams successfully made the transition too, and eventually started trading blows with NIP. 2014 and 2015 saw the era of Fnatic, the first team to win 2 major championships in a row.
Any chance Flusher looking to end this? It's going to be a 3rd title for Fnatic. They win a 3rd major championship in global offensive. Fnatic, they could be the 2nd or the 1st team to win a 2nd championship here in Global Offensive, and Olofmeister's playing it so safely. They know that they have it. Exist gets one, and he's back on it. He's got the kit, he's holding it down. I'm not sure there's enough time. Fnatic, they do it!
Making history today, the first team to win 2 majors, Fnatic.
Thereafter, the throne for the best CSGO team in the world has witnessed several contenders such as MIBR, Liquid, Mouse and Na'Vi. However, Astralis zoomed ahead of them all. They had reinvented the way CSGO was played, making the usage of utility more relevant than ever. After 19 years of Counter-Strike, it seemed like one team had finally perfected the game. As of this moment, Astralis have been on top for more than a year. An array of CSGO pros, journalists, analysts and experts have named them as the best team of all time. And they have the achievements to back this claim too. They have won 2 majors in a row, thus getting on par with Fnatic's record. They won the Intel Grand Slam, which adds weight to the claim that the last year was indeed the Astralis era. They were never the team to participate in each and every tournament. They took breaks often and skipped select tournaments to practice for the ones that really mattered to them. But despite their occasional absence, they were able to make their presence felt in the ones that they did participate in. The level of competition during the Astralis era has been much higher than in the past. But now it seems as though we are once again at the brink of a revolution. After a year of being on top, it was inevitable that someone at some point in time would finally topple the Kings. Nuke was Astralis' home turf, And before facing Ence at the Blast Pro Series Madrid, they had won 31 matches on the map in a row. This victory marks an important milestone for CSGO. Astralis have already set many records. They could have set more, but the Finnish underdogs denied them the pleasure of doing so. At one point, they were so dominant that there was a difference of 500 points on the HLTV rankings between them and the number 2 spot. Now it is down to less than 200. In the last few months, they've lost games to MIBR and FaZe. And now finally, Ence have delivered a decisive blow. But this does not rule out the possibility of Astralis bouncing back stronger. The only times that they lost were in Blast tournaments. And while the gods are now clearly vulnerable, it remains to be seen whether or not this truly is the beginning of the end of the Astralis era.
I'm coming home.